Are you ready to challenge yourself and think bigger? I'm your host, Marianne Marchese, and together we'll hear the unfiltered, unscripted stories of those who've taken big risks and transformed their bold ideas into reality. Season 1 is brought to you by multi-award-winning law firm Legalite, where bold ideas thrive. Sitting with me today is Chloe Walker, founder of Pirk, Australia's first cosmetic surgery concierge. Pirk was created to bring more transparency, safety and guidance to an industry that can often feel overwhelming. At its heart, it's helping people make informed choices with confidence. Welcome, Chloe.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much for having me. Great intro.
Good. I'm glad to hear. It's such a pleasure to have you with me today. I would love to hear about maybe starting with your journey before Pirk.
Yeah, so a Tasmanian girl, grew up in the country and I moved to Melbourne when I was around 23 and I found my avenue in sales. So I could never sit still at school and I didn't have the patience for uni, but I was really good at talking and really good at sales. And
you're the right person for the podcast then.
Yeah. And so I found myself a couple of jobs and I landed at iSelect, which at the time was a team of 50 people. And I just grew my career through there. I was on the phone for about 9 months, went into leadership, and then I got given one of the verticals there to grow, which was the energy vertical, and we turned that into like a $40 million revenue per year. So I spent 8.5 years there. We saw the team go from 50 people up to 1,500.
Wow.
In my time there, I did huge teams of leadership, and then I moved to Cape Town for them, and I built a 200-seat call centre there for them in 2 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So it was all mainly sales, but we were obviously heavily involved in marketing, and the big preface of iSelect was having a consumer problem that we matched with a product. So trying to save people money. So that's really where my background came from. And then from there, my experience sort of moved around with the founders of iSelect. And then I've also spent 3 years in a travel business, connecting people with local agents across the world. That was my first experience of a real startup.
Okay.
And then just as we got funding, we hit COVID. Yeah.
Gosh, travel, COVID.
Yeah. So that was fun. We did actually make the business survive through COVID.
Wow.
And at the end of that, I got bought the opportunity for Pirk, and I sort of was at a crossroads. Do I stay with a developing startup? We kind of had got through the hard part, or do I go and do my own thing? And I don't know if it was smart or stupid. Here we are with Pirk.
Yet to be seen. Yep. Well, yeah, Australia's first is a very bold move to, start something that's never been done before. What sparked the idea for Pirk?
Yeah, so I went to go and get a cosmetic procedure, I would say it would be about 8 years ago now. And when I went, I didn't really think it through. I had always wanted to get a breast augmentation my whole entire life, and I had the cash and I just thought I'd go and get it done. And I went to my GP, he gave me a referral. I just got given a plastic surgeon that was closest to my home. And once I went in for the consult and realised what a serious decision I was making, I started thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know if this surgeon is qualified and they're trying to get me to book this surgery. I felt extremely overwhelmed and I left without booking. And then once I started looking into the industry, the botched up jobs, I didn't know if my surgeon was qualified. I didn't know if the price had been quoted was good, bad. Medical tourism was out there. Is that an option I should take? And I honestly just found the whole experience extremely overwhelming and I never went ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think...
Did you ever end up getting the boob job?
Next year.
Oh, yay.
I would love to have done it sooner, but there's no time as a startup founder.
Yeah, of course. Well, at least now you can do it through Pirk.
Yeah, exactly. And I've got very trusted surgeons on board. So I know that I've got it safe and I know what I'm getting. So
Absolutely.
That's good.
Yeah,
so, I just felt... I went to the founder of iSelect at the time and I said to him, we've done this in so many industries. I really feel like this industry needs this more than anything. It's a huge decision. It costs you a lot of money. The risk if you get it wrong is a lifetime of issues.
Yeah.
And it just felt like we needed to find something that could fit it. And so we developed Pirk. Yeah.
Okay. And tell me about how it started in the very early days. Was it always, a platform, a concierge? How did you even begin to find trusted surgeons, for example?
I think that's a really good question because, as you know, whatever you think your business is going to be in the future, it doesn't end up anything like that. At the start, we had some help with another woman who was involved in our business early on, and she had some connections in the industry in terms of the surgeon side. But I think, and she helped definitely with a couple of introductions to begin with, which was amazing because we got our first 2 surgeons through that avenue. I think the extension of that, though, was that we really had to spend a lot of time finding a model that surgeons trusted. They had been given a lot of lead generation models in the past, people promising lots of clients for them and just wasting their time. And so the model that we developed early on was one where surgeons would only pay us if a person went ahead with the surgery. And from an APRA guideline perspective, you can't be doing a referral fee. So we had to work out a model that was, one, compliant with the industry, that supported clients and got them in contact with trusted surgeons, but also a model that surgeons trusted. And we were people that hadn't done this before. But so I think my experience having done this in multiple industries gave a lot of comfort to our first few surgeons that came on board and definitely helped us get I think we started with 4 to 6 surgeons, but it took about, I'm going to say 6 to 7 months to get people to sign up to the program. It would have been a program at the time.
Sure.
Not a platform.
Sure.
Yeah.
Got ya.
Yeah.
Okay. And then with the initial surgeons that you had, did you find that built momentum to then bring more on board?
Do you know what? I feel sorry for our first surgeons because I didn't send them a client, I think, for 10 months.
Yeah. Okay. But it's great that they believed in it to hang around for 10 months. They had nothing to lose also if you're not charging a fee until a successful referral. So,
I think the thing is it's relatively risk-free for them. And I was very lucky because we had created such great relationships with them. They were really supportive in building out and helping us with questions that we didn't know the answer to. I'd never been in the industry before, so I was learning as I went. And their teams are really helpful for us. I think the surgeons that came on board early can see that the industry needs a business like ours to help support a safer journey, and they're real advocates of change, and they're also very business minded. So they understand that they want to grow, and they want to grow in a way where they're not wasting their time as well. So I think finding that unique set of a surgeon really helped us, and that helped me when we would go out to look for more surgeons, which was a lot of door knocking, a lot of mystery shopping. I think we mystery shopped 150 clinics.
Wow,
in 3 months.
That's commitment.
Yeah. And then I would learn about what we wanted in a surgeon. And when I would meet with the team, I would know if they were going to be a fit, because some clinics just aren't evolved enough or have been around for so long that they don't find a need for us just yet. So for us, it was about who's the right fit for us, and also for the surgeon, how do we show value in what we can offer them? Yeah.
Okay. Is it very competitive amongst cosmetic surgeons?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And going back to your comment earlier about it was really overwhelming when you were trying to find, a good surgeon. Is it a lot of dodgy surgeons out there? So where does the overwhelm come from?
So I think, well, first of all, we all know the first 4 people that you see on Google are paid for, and generally speaking, that's who they go for. So whoever had the most money has the most marketing dollars to play with, and generally speaking, your more successful surgeons are the ones that are coming up the top. So as a newer surgeon coming into the industry, it can be hard. I think one thing that is unknown in Australia is that there are different classifications of a surgeon, and this is something I didn't know. So a plastic surgeon has had 12 to 15 years of reconstructive training, and they are very well equipped, and then they do a lot more ongoing training. A cosmetic surgeon in Australia, and just to generalise this isn't actually factual, just in case I have anyone come for me.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. A general surgeon can go and say they want to specialise in breast surgery, and they'll be deemed a cosmetic surgeon, but they haven't done their 15 years as a plastic surgeon. So part of the APRA changes recently is getting people to understand what that is. But as a person that's going to get this done one time, I hate cosmetic surgeon. I think the same thing. I'm not in the industry enough to know the difference. And I think we only work with plastic surgeons for that reason, because they are equipped if anything goes wrong, they can
got
help.
all that experience. Yeah, okay. So a customer would come to you, they've maybe tried to find a surgeon, been overwhelmed by the process. How do you help from the get-go?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things that we help with. One's transparency. So at the moment, it's really difficult to find how much a surgeon costs. And obviously price, whilst it's not the only thing that helps people make a decision, it is a huge reason if somebody's going to go ahead or not. So we help with transparency of pricing and what to expect if you're going to get surgery in Australia.
That's great, because I would have no idea. I would literally just, probably find 5 or 6 and find a middle ground somewhere, which might not even be the right price.
Well, surgeons don't most surgeons don't actually show pricing on their website, and they won't answer it unless you go in for a consult.
So you have to go through the consult in person and then probably get, the pressure to go ahead as well.
Yeah, and also you get shocked at how expensive it can be. Okay. So, the Australian hospital system isn't cheap. And it's actually what puts up the pricing in Australia versus medical tourism. But I think being transparent with people, getting them to understand what the costs are, why the costs are there. And we have, all of our surgeons give us their guideline pricing. So we have a back-end system that tells us what to expect, is definitely a huge differentiator for us, and it helps people make a bit more of an informed decision. And, we can also assist them with things like payment plans and make it a lot easier, help them planning into the future if they want. Some people aren't aware that for their procedure they can access potentially super. There might be a Medicare rebate available if, there's a medical condition that's attached with this. So there's lots of different things that it's very hard to find the exact information for your personal situation, whereas we will spend the time asking you about why you're getting the procedure done, what's got you to this point, and really understanding where you're at and give information that's tailored to your specific situation. Because there isn't any two people that come to us that are the same. Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah. And do you get people coming to you that might have had like breast cancer, for example, or are you in that space too?
It's actually interesting you say that. We're actually looking at how we put a portion of our revenue into breast cancer research. It's not something that we have focused on in our first 18 months. I think with any startup, the focus has to be wherever you put your time, what's your return? And I think, but long term, that's definitely a space that we want to play in. I've had a friend that has had a double mastectomy and then got her breasts done. Yeah. And, I feel like that would be somewhere where we'd love to have an impact on in the future for sure.
Yeah, because often I've been touched, not myself personally, but through close family members that have had breast cancer. And it's kind of, if you do want to have, a breast augmentation at the same time, you kind of just go through the same system, the same process. Whereas, you're dealing with two things that are very significant at one time, being cancer and a breast augmentation.
Yep.
So, being able to have a service like yours, I think would be so beneficial to kind of, take and I want to chat about this too, but taking that overwhelm and the stigma out of the process.
Yeah, it should be completely normalized. You're about to lose something that makes you feel feminine. And, you need, and I'm sure that would be an overwhelming experience. So then to have to make a decision on who's a good surgeon to then replace this for me, it's probably not on your high priority list, or there's probably a lot of guilt associated to the fact that you're even thinking about that, given that you've just gone through this massive procedure. So we would love to play a part in helping people navigate that 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think that would be so valuable. So I look forward to hearing how that rolls out. Yeah. So where's it got to now? Is it a platform now?
We're working towards a platform. Right. So we've been operating for the last 18 months, and we've had about 50,000 people hit the website.
Wow.
Yeah. We've facilitated about 2,000 conversations like we spoke about before, and we've had over 250 people see surgeons now for a consult. Yep. So we have got some traction. We are seeing people use the platform.
Well, there's absolutely a need for it.
Huge.
Those numbers they are huge numbers.
Yeah.
So you validated the need for this, which I absolutely commend you for as Australia's first. So Well done on that. So when you say you're working towards it, what does that look like? Is there money involved here that would be needed, obviously, to build something like this?
Yeah, so part one of the platform, which is what we're doing a capital raise for, just started in the last week.
Yeah.
Part one and the first phase of it is how do we bring a community-style platform together for plastic surgery and probably non-surgical cosmetic procedures. And I think what we'd do is we'd just evolve our experience for people to have a place to go, have an open conversation and get access to information more easy than having to talk to us on the phone all the time. As we know, people don't have time for phone calls anymore. So we need to evolve the way our conversations can happen. Long term, so my major goal long term is to become Australia's go-to place for transformation. So this would look
It's a
like
great vision.
Yeah, thank you. So we would love for people to come to us with a goal in mind, a 4 or 5 year goal in mind, which might mean that they want to do multiple things at once. So an example of that might be somebody, and we often speak to people who are looking to lose quite a lot of weight, and we'd love to provide a service where we can offer them a bariatric surgeon, a nutritionist. We can help them with skin laser treatment so that their skin elasticity comes back as much as possible. And then when the timing's right, get them in front of a plastic surgeon for that surgery piece. And right now, that process for somebody is extremely clunky and it's really hard to navigate. So I guess
Because
that's
they
one
have to
example.
see multiple people
And they
through
have
that
to do research for
process?
every single one.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
That would be so overwhelming.
Super overwhelming. And I think, people just don't think when you lose a lot of weight, your elasticity in your skin's going to go. So what are you doing to complement that? And, then on the flip side, if you look at cosmetic procedures, there's a lot, the facelift is becoming extremely popular due to a lot of celebrities coming out and showing what they're getting done.
Yeah, I saw, I've just forgotten her name, Kim Kardashian's mum.
Kris Jenner.
Kris Jenner.
Yeah.
Come out with the facelift.
Yep.
She looked like she was their age.
It's unbelievable. Her work is like, I swear we talk about that a lot at our office.
Okay.
We have people ring us and ask us about that. But there's
great.
a lot of mini procedures that you can have leading up to a facelift if that's where you want to go. But I think, once you're looking at, say you're 45 and at 50 your goal is to have a facelift or a mini facelift or a neck lift, there's other things that people sort of want on that journey. They want their teeth to look good. They want, non-surgical skin treatments done. So to be able to put all of that into something that goes, okay, well, we can't just jump you straight into transformation facelift, but if we did it in this way and we put it all together really nicely for you and gave you a platform that was easy to pay and you could pay over time, ideally that's where we'd love to get to.
Yeah, amazing. And you mentioned you're going through a capital raise, or you've just started the process of a capital raise.
Mm-hmm.
How's that been, dare I ask, as a female founder in Australia?
Yeah. So, I was just saying earlier that I was in a meeting yesterday and I got hit with the stat that only 1.5% of funding across all areas goes to females. So I was very confident going into it last week.
Until you heard the stat.
Yeah. Look, we're doing sort of what I would call like a pre-seed round, I guess, or a seed round. And ideally I'd love to raise $1 million. But my minimum goal is 500K. That enables us to put some effort into the platform, but then also double down on our marketing, which we can see is now working. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a challenge for 2 reasons. One, obviously female founders and getting breadth. And I think the other thing is the industry is quite unique. And given that a majority of investors at the moment are men, we've really got to focus on the data and the stats and the industry growth to show value. So, the industry is growing at 16% annually in Australia. It's currently worth $2 billion. Globally, it's worth $201 billion by 2028. So the growth and the market growth is there. The ability for us to stream into multiple revenue streams is there. So it is a smart business model. So I've just got to get in front of the right people, which I imagine is going to be, to be able to get 10 investors, it's probably 100 to 150 conversations that will need to be had. So
yeah, for sure.
It'll be hard.
That's phenomenal. I mean, to have that many conversations, to get the desired outcome. Have you felt that as a female you've had more obstacles or hurdles in raising capital?
So in reflection,
that stat,
maybe.
I'd love to know behind that stat. I've never raised capital before. the listener might or might not have, but why is that start so low?
Yeah, we'd raised a small amount of capital when we first got the business, when the first proof of concept was done. And I thought it was hard, but then I thought maybe that was normal. I didn't really know. And I think now that we've been doing business for 18 months and I've got a better understanding of what startup means, raising capital, who you need to be in front of, the networking that you need to do, where that level needs to be at. Plus you've got to be on the ground and doing it all yourself because I'm still very much day-to-day.
Is that because the investors want to see the founder?
Yeah, I think to open up the networks to people with that kind of capital, you need to be sort of out and about and putting your business out there, which is part of the reason, we've got memberships at different areas. So I don't know if it's the fee. I don't know how challenging it's going to be, but it feels like, yes, given the feedback I've been given the conversations that I've had, a lot of people have mentioned that it's going to be difficult to get capital. But we'll see how we go. We just got started. I had a great pitch last week and I've got some great feedback and I've got a couple of meetings coming up, so I could find one magic unicorn in there and then we might not be.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, that might not be it.
That's the end of that.
Yeah, that's right. But it's hard navigating raising capital anyway. Where do you go? Who do you outreach to? But you've just got to be confident. You've got to do cold outreach. You've got to have a different idea. I've got actually quite a out there idea around some investors that I'd love on board that have a big social status. So I've got some interesting ways I'll be approaching those, like sending videos through.
Cool. Yeah, you have to get creative with it and get their attention, I guess, because they must get, hounded. So a way to stand out, if you can, would be, put you in front.
Yeah, it's just all about attention grabbing and, explaining that we are doing something different and it is a bit more of a risk, but the data's there. And if we get it right, it could be a huge opportunity.
Huge. Yeah. And you're grappling with capital raising, which is challenging. You're also grappling with an industry that is very highly regulated and somewhat taboo. I mean, it is booming, but it is still kind of a taboo topic when you talk about cosmetic surgery. How has that been for you to navigate, a new business, a disruptive business in such a highly regulated industry?
So the regulations kind of play in our favour, to be honest.
Okay.
We're obviously very big advocates of safe cosmetic surgery, and APRA is trying to put regulations in place that advocate for that too.
And that's the health regulator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From a practitioner point of view, I think maybe there's a few things that they could do better because they're actually restricting things from surgeons and medical practitioners that they actually need to grow their businesses. However, for us, we can help support people grow their businesses through another avenue. So whilst the regulations are always tricky, it's really doesn't seem to bother us too much. In fact, it actually helps us build value with surgeons because we have another avenue for them to grow. And we just have to be careful with messaging. We don't sell cosmetic surgery. We are not medical advisors. I can't tell you what to get done. I can listen to how you feel. I can understand where you're at and I can help you find a trusted surgeon and then you can decide if you want to go ahead. So we really just play in that middle space of support as opposed to, hey, you should go and get this done and this is the person to do it and make sure you book. We don't sort of push that part. So I feel like that keeps us out. The tabooness is really interesting because if you think about Botox 10 years ago, nobody told anyone they got it done.
No, but now it's like, I was saying to one of my friends, I've never had it before, but we're thinking of getting it together. And there's a place in Moonee Ponds and there's an amazing banh mi place in Moonee Ponds. So we're like having a banh mi and Botox day.
Perfect.
I mean, that's how normal it is now.
I'm all for that. So I think, I started getting Botox when I was 24, would you believe it? But we never spoke about it back then. Whereas cosmetic procedures, if younger mums now are talking about once I've had kids, I'm going to get my boobs done and I'm going to get my tummy done and I want my body back. Like that's a conversation that's starting to happen in friendship groups. So I think the tabooness will slowly move itself away as we start to see people more educated. I also think the younger generation is really open and I can see celebrities being more open about what they're getting done. But there's still some very private procedures that will always be taboo and always be private. And particularly for men, there's quite a, men are very private people. And I think our model actually supports that because we are super private and confidential. We can answer questions you might not be able to find. And also we can help support you through something that you might not tell your friends and family about. And you'll have somebody. We've just been helping this one guy, and he's poor guy, like he's going through gynecomastia, so it's like liposuction to remove essentially male breast reduction. He was so nervous, and we've helped him with everything from his blood tests to getting him in for the consult to his flights down to the surgeon. And I reckon he's been on the phone to us every second day. And he's just finished his surgery. We actually heard from him yesterday, and he's so happy.
Oh, that's so great.
But he didn't tell anyone he was getting that done. So at least he had that support, and he was able to get it done. So it's good.
I really love that you're removing the stigma and the taboo, but also holding space for that privacy. And, if it is a sensitive topic for someone, you're still holding space for that. I really love that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a confronting thing to tell people that you're going to get something done sometimes. It's really nice. We have some great customer stories, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. What are some misconceptions about the cosmetic surgery industry that you're trying to tackle?
I think a lot of people think procedures are getting done for vanity, and most people that we talk about, it's not the case. Most people that don't get me wrong, I had somebody call the other day and they'd already had implants and they just wanted extra big boobs. And there's a percentage of people out there that are getting cosmetic procedures for that reason, and that's cool. Everybody's allowed to do them. But most people are everyday people that are feeling a certain way about their body. They're not feeling confident. They're not able to go out every day and be their best version because there's something that's making them feel uncomfortable. And really, I think the stigma around it being all about vanity is just really crazy because it's actually about confidence, and it's actually enabling yourself to be the best version of you. And lots of people feel guilty about spending the money on themselves. They can't. They're like, oh, do I want to spend that $20,000 on me? But you are your biggest investment at the end of the day. So I think that's probably the main stigma around the industry, that it's all about vanity. But most procedures for people, you wouldn't even know that they've got it done half the time because it's such a natural result, and it just makes them feel better.
Yeah, it makes them feel more confident and more like themselves. And yeah, I totally agree with that. It's not always about vanity. I mean, of course, sometimes it is, but not always, if not the majority of the time, by the sounds of it. And being able to help people navigate the process that honours that and, doesn't make them feel shame about what they're going through, I think is so important.
Yeah, and that most people we speak to, they're like, I've been thinking about this for 5 to 10 years, which is crazy. And then they get it done, and the first thing we hear is, oh my gosh, I feel so good. I wish I had got this done sooner, which is really nice. But I think because our service is there, if people find a safe place to have the conversation earlier, there's an opportunity that they might actually get it done earlier for themselves or find a way to get it done. And I think that's actually what we're doing is changing that pathway and enabling access to information that's relative for them earlier.
Yeah.
And enabling them to have that feeling earlier as well, which is really cool.
Yeah, and they know you're there to support them. You're not there to you're not the surgeon.
No.
So you're not spruiking the surgery itself.
No.
And I think that middle ground, I mean, it's amazing that this has not been done before.
I know.
So hats off to you because, it feels like you would want someone in your corner when you're navigating this process.
Yeah, and even sometimes we get it wrong. We match them with a surgeon, they walk away going, actually, that surgeon wasn't for me. But to be able to have that relationship trust and for us to go, okay, look, let us get you in with the next surgeon. And often if we have to do a second surgeon match, we don't charge, we pay for the consult.
Yeah.
But for them to come back and feel like they can fully trust us.
That's great. That's
awesome.
Actually such a good thing that they would come back and be comfortable enough to say that one wasn't for me. I mean, that's what you're there for. So
that's right.
Yeah, it's working.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the girls build amazing relationships with their clients. Like, it's crazy. One of my girls, if they're in Melbourne, she offers to pick them up from the hospital. We picked somebody up the other day, which was really nice. So, yeah, I love the fact that, yes, it's a platform and, yes, we're having conversations and, yes, mostly it's on the phone. It still feels very personable and it still feels very one-on-one, which is really nice.
Yeah, you need that.
Mm.
And what's your vision for the next few years aside from the capital raise? Are you in every state currently?
No. So we're in Melbourne, Sydney and Adelaide.
Yeah.
I'd love to grow Sydney out probably as our first focus and then move to Queensland and WA. We'll keep our focus on Australia, but the secondary part of that is we're looking at cosmetic dentistry and hair loss, introducing them in the next year. We have just brought on our first round of non-surgical partners in Melbourne. So we've got 6 clinics that we work with.
So that's like the banh mi and Botox.
Yeah, banh mi and Botox, yep. So let me know how you go.
I'll hook up with you afterwards.
And that works really well and that's worked really nicely. So I guess it's finding a place as we start to grow and revenue comes in, we're able to add more to the platform. So we just will add as we bring more revenue in.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many opportunities in new verticals with an offering like this.
The breadth is huge.
Yeah.
It's about not getting too excited and, you know, keeping
steps.
really focused on what we're doing and doing it really well and adding when we're ready. Yeah.
And what do you envision in terms of staff? Do you think you're going to need to grow your staff base a lot more to support that growth?
It's a good question. I don't think so. I think the platform will serve a lot of self-service around some of the stuff we get now. We don't need to talk to somebody, but it's the only avenue that they've kind of got other than our website. I think the staff will grow for the conversation when we're ready to do the matching part, but all the lead up to that and the pre and post stuff we will be able to build with a digital platform and a lot of AI solution. We've been working with somebody on an AI, we're calling her Penny from Pirk, and she can actually handle a bit of conversation up front and she can also help with our management of consults and whatnot on the back end. So there'll be a bit of AI integration, but there's always going to be the need for a personal conversation.
Personal connection.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a strong believer. I mean, I just had this epiphany recently that AI is best used in the back end and then humans in the front end.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's really what you're doing. And you don't want to lose that personal touch with something like this because as soon as people are dealing with AI or bots, it's going to lose the appeal and your vision, what you're here for.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't want to remove the fact that we're a client-first business. We're here to support people and, I don't think that AI is the solution for people up front. Definitely like confirmation of consults.
Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah,
you know.
cares?
But sharing your personal information with a bot and me asking like, why do you want to get a tummy tuck?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's probably not going to be the right kind of conversation you want to be having. I mean, maybe there's people out there that want to keep it really private and that might be an avenue they opt into. I don't know, but it's definitely not our focus for now.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I'd love to know before we wrap up, what's the worst advice you've received? If you've received worst advice,
it's a really interesting
anything comes
question.
to mind?
I don't know that I've received worst advice. I've received a lot of advice that I listened to over the last couple of years that I knew I shouldn't have and that I acted on. And like you just said, there's a lot of breadth. There's a lot that we can be doing. And people, if I'm listening constantly to people say, you can do this, you should try this, I'll catch up with this person. All of those actions just took away from the time that I needed to put in at the start of the business. And so listening to the advice was probably good, but it was at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And
you just need to filter out what's right for your business at the time, as you said.
Right, and super overwhelming.
Yeah.
As a business owner, when you can see all these things you could be doing, but you really don't have that much time, you're restricted. So I think there's no worst advice. It's just the timing of the advice and me not listening to my intuition and going, okay, I'll do it all, to try and people please a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, it's a skill, I think. As any business owner, it's a skill to, know what to tune out and to listen to that intuition. It's really hard.
Yeah, 100%.
And what's one piece of advice you've got for someone that's got a bold idea of their own?
Good question. So really, I think is just take small actions and test and learn and come back. The idea, everybody has ideas. I mean, I'm sure we've all sat around at the dinner table and come up with many ideas over time. But if you truly believe in your idea, it's about validating that it is something that people genuinely need. And the best way to do that is just to do really small, cheap testing
Great advice.
and validate it, and then you can figure out where you want to put your money into. Otherwise, you'll spend a lot of money and you'll get nowhere.
Yeah, that is great advice, and you're obviously practicing what you preach. So well done.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chloe. Where can people find you online or on socials?
So you can find us at our website, which is www.pirk.au, or our socials are pirk.au.
Brilliant. Great. Thank you so much, Chloe. It's been a pleasure chatting to you.
Oh, so good. Thank you.
No worries. If you loved what you heard, make sure you follow the podcast so you never miss an episode. Or even better, leave us a review. And if you have a bold idea of your own, I'd love to hear from you. Check out the show notes to get in touch.